Ricciardo, this is really going to be our only opportunity. We've got to get a good exit. We get a good exit. We're full throttle round the corner in the slipstream using the DRS. Got the DRS and we're getting closer and closer and closer. I know we're going to be able to go for a move down the inside of Ricciardo. Have we got the straight line speed? Hey guys, what's going on? Darren here, and welcome back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time, we're at Catalonia for the Spanish Grand Prix. And I know what you might be thinking. Where's the previous race? The last race was supposed to be in Miami. Well, here's what happened in Miami. First off, we had a horrible parking at the start of the race. We somehow overshot by half a meter. Then when the race did get underway, we're just driving along here on lap 8, and Ricciardo, despite the fact I'm using the RS, absolutely flies past me like I don't exist. Then a bit later in the race, well, a lap later, we're going along just fine, and then all of a sudden, Lance Stroll decides that he's going to fly by doing 5 times the speed of sound, and we can't do anything about that. And then a bit later in the race, Zhou Guanyu is all over the back of me, and yeah, Zhou Guanyu flies by me like I don't exist. Then a bit later in the race, the rain did come down, Zhou Guanyu flies by me again, and then the absolute greatest driver of all time, Nicholas Latifi, he absolutely flies by me like I don't exist. Then, a little bit later still, I smash into the back of Zhou Guanyu by accident. Daniel Ricciardo then passes me again, and then to top off the excellent race that I was having, I accidentally lose the back of the car and smash into the wall and retire from the Grand Prix. So that was a bit of a disastrous race, really, the American Grand Prix in Miami. So yeah, that was that race. George Russell won that race from Carlos Sainz in second, and Charles Leclerc finishes in third. So that was one of his worst results of the season. But yeah, Mercedes got their first win, which was great for them, and for me, the race was an absolute disaster. So we're going to move very quickly on from that Grand Prix and go straight into the Spanish Grand Prix, which, let's be honest, can only be better than what happened in Miami. Let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship, and you can see now Charles Leclerc has a 24-point gap from Max Verstappen in second place in the Drivers' Championship, with Carlos Sainz in third place as we drop down to P19. At the end of the race, we were given an option to decide who our rival is going to be, and it's between the two McLarens, and well, Lando's quite quick, but Ricciardo is someone we have actually been battling a lot, so I decided, you know what? We're going to go with Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo is now our rival in Formula 1. So we're going to skip all that now, and it is time for qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix. This was our first run in qualifying. You can see that we set a 120.9. That was our first run. Then we decided, you know, we're going to come back in. We're going to go again very quickly. Of course, we normally only do 2 runs in qualifying, but this time I decided we're going to try and do 3 runs. So this is the second of 3 runs, and it was actually my best lap in Q1. So you can see it going into turn 1 with brakes nice and late. Then here we go now into turn 3. Quickly get it through the gears up to 7th gear. You can go flat out very early when going into turn 3, which took me a while to kind of get used to and realize that I can actually go flat out a lot quicker than I thought I could. Then here into this downhill left-hand section. It's an easy corner to get wrong. It's so easy to just lock the front left tyre. As is this corner here, the turn this left-right. This corner has become very difficult this year because they've added a sausage curb on the exits of the corner. And with that, it's very easy to just bottom out and get stuck on that curb and then spin off. But thankfully, we didn't actually do that this time around. Now, braking deep into this corner. This corner's changed a lot from last year. You can see the old layout still there. But now it's a longer hairpin as opposed to a tight hairpin. And then this section's still the same as before. This right-left, it's very difficult, very clunky, especially this chicane. And look at how much time we gained on the chicane. Our first lap was a disaster in that last corner. You can see that we're 8 tenths up, and it is going to be a 120.1. We're currently in P11, and let's go for the final lap. Dropped all the way down to P16. But where are we going to qualify for the Spanish Grand Prix? You can see we're 2/10 down. We didn't quite have as good of an end to the lap. And where have we qualified for the Spanish Grand Prix? It's 18th. It's a bit of a disappointment because I was actually feeling quite confident. And I was feeling like, you know what, we could have got into Q2, but we didn't manage it. It's P18 for the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's get to the race and let's see if we can get some points.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down into Turn 1. This is a 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through the 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out Turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of Turn 9. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Perez, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, and Lando Norris, Mick Schumacher, Ocon, Guan Yu Zhou, and Vettel, Stroll, Ricciardo, Bennett, and Alex Albon, Latifi, Gasly, Teo Pourchaire, and Yuki Tsunoda. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Let's start with Alfa Romeo. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
So, you can see we're just looking now at the strategy for the Spanish Grand Prix. And I was starting to think, you know, I can try something a little bit different to normal. The standard strategy is, of course, you do the one-stop mediums to hards. But I was thinking that, you know what, there's a chance. There is a chance that I can go mediums to softs. And you can see we were just thinking about that there as I was looking through the strategy. Am I going to go mediums to softs? We're going to find out as the race gets underway. So we're here parking now for the start of the Grand Prix. Unlike in Miami, we don't make a mistake. We actually park where we're supposed to, which is always great. So we're not going to get penalised for that. And now we're waiting on those 5 red lights. And when they go out, the Spanish Grand Prix will be underway. It's lights out and away we go. You can see that Ricciardo, Stroll and Sebastian Vettel also starting on the soft tyres. So they've got the same idea I have, I think, that they're going to go soft to medium. We'll see what happens as the race goes on. You can see we're losing place there to Alex Albon, but into turn 1, down the inside. Past Alex Albon we go. Are we going to get Lance Stroll as well? It doesn't look like we do, but Albon then, Stroll makes a mistake. And into turn 3 we go. We're going to have Lance Stroll. Yes, we have. Got him around the outside, but there's a huge snap of oversteer there. I know we're going to lose place to Yuki Tsunoda. No, we don't. So, we got past Lance Stroll there as we had a huge moment, though. Almost lost the rear end, and now we're going to try and go down the inside of Zhou Guanyu. Can we make it stick? We have a bit of contact with Zhou Guanyu, and here we have got past Zhou Guanyu. So up into P15. What a start for the Grand Prix this is. Our rival in the championship, Daniel Ricciardo, is just ahead of us on the soft compound tyres. Is there anything we can do about Ricciardo? We're going to have to try and do something as quick as possible because he is on the soft compound tyres. So at the beginning of the race, Ricciardo is going to have a pace advantage, but as those tyres wear out, he should be coming back to us. But it's going to be interesting to see if he does do soft to medium or if he goes soft to hard. If he goes soft to hard, which I don't think he'll be able to do, I think he just have to go soft to medium. That would be the smart thing. And if he does that, it's going to be tough to catch, but if he goes soft to hard, I think there is a chance we could have him. As we go to lap 4 now, you can see Ricciardo is opening up that gap a little bit so far. You can see the DRS has been activated. Yuki Tsunoda is going to go for a move around the outside. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Tsunoda just can't make it stick there. And that's a good thing for me. I need to keep him behind because it is going to be tricky otherwise. We go to lap 9 and into the pits comes Daniel Ricciardo. What tyres is he going to go on to? Kevin Magnussen's also in the pits, which that's a bit early for Magnussen. I've got to say he's gone out to lap 10 and into the pits comes Sebastian Vettel. I don't know what tyres are going to go on. Are they going to go mediums or are they going to go hards? If it was me, I'd risk the mediums. You may as well risk the mediums. The hards are just going to be too slow, I think, and to take that far into the race. You see that Tsunoda was trying to move with the yellow flags are out. The yellow flags are out. What's happened? You see that there's an Alfa Romeo. It's Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu has spun the car. Look at that. He just lost control and spun it all by himself. Zhou Guanyu loses control. And is he going to lose a place here to Théo Pourchaire? He looks like he lost a place there to the Williams of Albon. But didn't quite manage to lose a place to Théo Pourchaire. But it's got to lap 14 now. Look at that. You can see the yellow flags are out in Sector 3. And it's because Zhou Guanyu has now broken down. And Zhou Guanyu is out of the Spanish Grand Prix. We go to lap 16 now. And everyone else is diving into the pits. And we're still out. We are staying out. Lap 17 now. And we're up to P7. We're in the points then of the Spanish Grand Prix. So this is excellent for us. Getting into the points is exactly where we want to be. I don't know if we're going to be able to stay in the points, but we are there for now. As we go to lap 19, and you can see here we've got Fernando Alonso, Mr. Eyebrows. He's reeling us in at a rapid rate of nose. Fernando Alonso in that Alpine on those fresh, hard compound tyres is a lot faster than us right now. And he has reeled us in very quickly. I think it's something like 1.5 seconds per lap, which is just, it's incredible. He's got so much pace on those fresh, hard tyres. But I will say I have been keeping track of Daniel Ricciardo, and Ricciardo hasn't been closing us in that much. He's only been doing about 1/10 or 2 per lap as Alonso blasts past us, and we decide we're not going to fight Alonso. We're not going to fight him. We're going to let Alonso go, and we're going to try and stick with Alonso, because if we stick with him, then we'd be able to get that slipstream and save some fuel, which is very important. But as you can see, he's got to lap 23 now. Alonso's just been able to absolutely open up a huge gap. He's 4 seconds ahead now, as Norris has closed the gap by a few seconds as well. But, as I was saying, Daniel Ricciardo, he's only been closing in by a couple of tenths a lap. And that's really important, because Daniel Ricciardo is who we are really racing in this Grand Prix. And for him to only be closing by a couple of tenths, despite the fact our mediums are on 68% on the front left, that fills me with confidence that actually, once we get on those soft tyres, we're going to be able to close in on Daniel Ricciardo, and we are going to go softs. There's no point going to the hards. There's only 10 laps left to go, so we're going to risk it for the biscuit. We're going to go straight to the soft compound tyres and see if we can reel in Daniel Ricciardo and get him with a few laps left to go as we dive into the pits. We don't speed in the pit lane, so that's really good to see. And now we just need to nail this stop, get on those soft compound tyres and try and reel in Daniel Ricciardo. So here we go now. We get a perfect pit stop. That's exactly what you want. It's going to be a good stop then. Off go the mediums, on go the softs. It's a 2.4 second stop. It is a good stop from the boys at Pulse Motorsport. Ricciardo comes out in front of us. We've got to get out ahead here of Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda's going to be all over the back of us into turn 1. Exit the pit lane. We do stay out in front of Tsunoda, but we've got cold soft compound tyres versus Tsunoda, who's got up to temperature hard compound tyres. We're going to be vulnerable here. We're going to have to use some overtake surely to maintain position into this hairpin. And we do. We use a bit of overtake and we stay ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. But Tsunoda still is going to have much hotter tyres, much more grippy tyres as our softs are coming up to temperature. And we're still going to be vulnerable to Yuki Tsunoda here. Let's go into this left-hander. And Tsunoda can't do anything about it. It looks like now the softs are coming up to temperature. So we're going to be able to hopefully maintain position versus Yuki Tsunoda. He's going to get the DRS though. Slipstream, DRS. We slightly block it. We slightly go offline to block that inside line. And we do maintain position there versus Tsunoda. And now the soft tyres are up to temperature. They've got up to temperature. And you can see now we've opened up the gap to 9/10 of a second in that one corner alone. Now those tyres are up to temperature. Here we go into the chicane. Look at how much grip we have. We opened up the gap there by 3/10 alone in that one chicane. And that's it. We've got the tyres up to temperature, and there's nothing really that Yuki Tsunoda can do. And this lap, we're going to go for a fastest lap as we try and reel in that gap to Daniel Ricciardo. We've got 6 seconds. Make a note of that. 6 seconds to close on Daniel Ricciardo. And this lap, we're going to see how much we can close by going for a qualifying style lap. If you guys are enjoying this video, please do drop a like. Please drop a comment down below. Of course, like I said, I read every single comment that does get published. And of course, yeah, drop a like. And if you haven't already, of course, subscribe to this channel. What are you doing? Why haven't you subscribed? We got so much F1 content coming your way. This race has been absolutely brilliant so far. And I have a feeling it's going to get a hell of a lot better now we've got these soft compound tyres on. And please, of course, subscribe to the channel for more content, because we've got so much to get to bring your way. And let's get back to this race now. You can see it, we're entering the third sector. At the start of the lap, it was 6 seconds. It's now 5 seconds. So, in 2 seconds, we've taken out 1 whole second on Daniel Ricciardo. What about here now as we end the lap? We're going to this last chicane. How much are we going to close the gap to Ricciardo? It was 6 seconds at the start of the lap. And by the end of the lap, it is is it going to be 4.8? Yes, it is. 4.8 seconds. So that's 1.2 seconds that we took out to Ricciardo. And as we go to the next lap, we do even better. We hit a 1:21.0, and the gap between me and Ricciardo now 2.9. 1 lap later, down to 1.8. 1 lap later, down to 1 second. We got the DRS, as you can see. We got the DRS on Ricciardo. We've closed enough to get the DRS. As we go to lap 30 now. And look at this, we're all over the back of Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to look for a move down the inside. Can we do it? No, we can't. Ricciardo covers the inside line. This is for P13. And more importantly, this is for position against our rival, which is going to be very important in the rival battle. We've got to get past Daniel Ricciardo. And these soft tyres, as we go to the closing couple of laps, are going to be starting to go off the cliff of grip now. We are on lap 30, so these softs have been on for 7 laps. They're starting to wear out. Can we get Ricciardo? We're going to go for a move down the inside. Yes, we are. We're going to go for it, but Ricciardo just covers the line there, just stops us from being able to get him. We've got 10% of ERS remaining. We're going to try and save that ERS for the pit straight. We're going to go all out down the pit straight to try and get past Daniel Ricciardo. This is really going to be our only opportunity. We've got to get a good exit. We get a good exit. We're full throttle round the corner in the slipstream using the DRS. Got the DRS, and we're getting closer and closer and closer. I know we're going to be able to go for a move down the inside on Ricciardo. Have we got the straight line speed? Here we go into turn 1, down the inside on Ricciardo. Can we make it stick? Yes, we can. What a move to get past Daniel Ricciardo. Oh, let's take a look at that in the replay. Ricciardo just gives us the room. He has to yield at the apex as we fly down the inside. What a move there to get past Ricciardo. Just gives us the room. Look at it here as we go to the nose camera on Ricciardo. He turns it in, but there we go down the inside. Just able to take the place and take that all-important P13 away from Daniel Ricciardo. What a move that was. I think that move is worth a like. As we go now to lap 33, Charles Leclerc wins the Spanish Grand Prix. And it looks like we're just going to be able to hold off Daniel Ricciardo and maintain P13. Are we going to? They got the last chicane. Ricciardo's going to be using all the ERS, all the tyres that he's got left. But thankfully, we got 20% of ERS, which we can use on the exit of the corner. Yes, we're going to maintain the position. It's P13 in the Spanish Grand Prix. What a race. What a result.
Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
Once again, Charles Leclerc on absolutely unstoppable form. He dominates the Spanish Grand Prix from Sainz in second, Verstappen third, Russell fourth, Hamilton fifth, Perez sixth, Alonso seventh, Norris eighth, Bottas ninth, and Kevin Magnussen rounds out the top 10 as we finish P13 and Théo Pourchaire in P19, with Zhou Guanyu being the only car to DNF from the Grand Prix. In the championship, Charles Leclerc now extends his lead to 35 points from Max Verstappen in second. Carlos Sainz is third, 44 points off of Charles Leclerc, who is dominating Drivers' Championship. In the Constructors, Ferrari are now on 250 points from Red Bull in second on 177 points. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that video, and if you have, as I said before, please do like, comment, and smash that subscribe button to subscribe for more F1 and racing content. I've got so much to bring you guys, much more of my team, much more preview and predictions, much more reverse style races as well, and I can't wait to bring those to you. You can see it just before we finish the race, before we finish the video, we're actually purchasing a fabrication upgrade so that we can soon do 2 upgrades at a time for the powertrain, and that's going to be very important because we are still the weakest powertrain on the grid. We do need to get some engine upgrades on this car because we are so slow in a straight line. On top of that, we do need some drag reduction, so we're going to put some drag reduction on with some streamlined suspension arms. It's a major drag reduction upgrade that should be coming for the Canadian Grand Prix. So anyway, that's the last of it. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon for more F1 content. Bye.